Hey guys, this is Locke. In this video, I'm going to talk about who you should be getting with your Legendary Hero Selection ticket from the 77 Festival. Just a quick note about the festival first. This actually goes on until February the 16th. It's not only a 7-day festival. Some of these quests are a little bit too hard to get done in 7 days, like for example the use greater maps, 300 of them. That's a little bit hard. But you have a long time to do it. It's until February the 16th, so there's no rush to get it done. So first of all, I'm going to say that if you have a hero, and you should prioritize getting a hero that you don't have over one that you already have, no matter how good it is. Like for example, if you have every hero here except for Evan, and you don't think you'll be using Evan at all, you should still get him because it's pretty easy to get their proficiencies. You can get it through hero exploration, and once you do get their proficiencies up, it does add quite a bit to their stats. Like for example, if you look at my Evan, from the proficiency I get 30 defense. From the level bonus, I would have got 9 extra defense, and I would have probably gotten a little bit more from the skill enhancement as well. And that I would have got, so I would have got about 45 to 50 defense without actually buying any more of his shards. This is just from leveling up his skills and farming his proficiency. So that's quite a bit, and this is, in my opinion, one of the worst heroes from this bunch, but you can still get a lot of it out of it just from getting the proficiencies. If you are instead going to get a dupe will come up to 10 shards, which you can farm in like 5 days. So would you rather have like 45 defense or 5 days of shards? I mean, I think that's a clear winner here, in my opinion, anyway. So I would highly suggest that if you don't have a hero, that's the one you should be focusing on first. Now, I'm going to go through the heroes in the order that I think, the order of importance. I don't think anyone should get Rachel or Evan. Sorry, I don't think anyone should get Rachel or Karen, because you will be getting them for free anyway. Karen you'll get from the 7-day login. Rachel you get from 300k CP. So because you have a healer and you have a kind of like a DPS. Rachel isn't really considered the DPS, but when I started, she was my main DPS, and I was able to use her for a very long time, until at least like even in some very hard modes, I would use Rachel as my main DPS. And even now that I have other DPS, like I have a Cosette L, I'm still using Rachel because she's a very good debuffer and increases the damage of my DPS. So what I mean to say is that I am already given, as a new player, I'm already given a good DPS unit and a good healer. So what I'm really missing is a tank. So I highly recommend, if you don't have any of these heroes, I highly recommend you focus on Rudy because he is one of the best tanks in the game, at least right now, in global. And with this 3-man team, with Karen, Rachel, and Rudy, you have a good start. And the 4th person on your team could be like Shay or something, right? And Shay is easier to get because she is a blue unit. So that 4-man team should be able to get you through a lot of the game. I actually used exactly that 4-man team for most of my, like, even very hard story quests. Obviously, for some of the bosses, I have to use very specific resistance characters or something, or suppressing heroes. But that is the 4-man team, the core 4-man team. Rachel, Karen, Rudy, and Shay that I used for most of the very hard story. If you already have Rudy, then I mean, so in my opinion, I like, for players that are starting out that don't have a lot of things, I highly recommend focusing on PvE instead of PvP. So if you have Rudy already, I mean, there's no point in getting Evan. So the thing that you should be focusing on next, if you already have Rudy, is a good DPS character. Rachel is a good DPS character, but there is an even better one here, like Delans, for example. He's going to give you so much higher damage output because he always crits. And if you pair him with Rachel, and if Rachel is even strong enough to be used as a tank in some in some stories or some boss fights or something, then you can drastically improve the damage of Delans. So if you already have Rudy, I would highly recommend you're getting Delans. That would be my my second choice. But if you already have Rudy and Delans, I would start to think about PvP at that point. Because I mean, you don't really have much of a choice. You can get Yon He if you want, but she's not really used that much. And like uh, she is a good AoE damage dealer, but for PvE, you really want single target because again, boss fights are usually where it's at in PvE, and she doesn't really provide as much damage potential as some of the other, uh, DPS carries. So she's not really that great for PvE. However, if you seriously need a long range DPS unit and you just don't have anything better, you don't want to have a Claire, like a legendary Claire, then maybe you can consider getting her. But I wouldn't rank her very high, in my opinion. I would, if you have any other long range DPS carry at all, I would probably use that over her. And if you don't specifically need a long range carry, like there are some, like Delens is just a way better option, right? So that's why I'm not really recommending Yonhee. So if you already have Rudy and you already have Dalins, then I would recommend going into the PvP side of things. The unit that I would focus on most for PvP is this one, Empress of Fodina Eileen. In my opinion, she's one of the best PvP units, for L characters. I'm not looking at L plus, just L characters. She has like all her skills are AoE skills. She has two skills that have a high chance, like a 40% chance of causing CC to everybody in a wide circle. So she is used for she's used for a long time. Even right now in arena, I see her very, very often. She also increases the whole attack of your team as well. She gives a good attack passive. So if you're looking for PvP and you don't have her, she's the one that I would recommend to get. I would actually recommend her way more than Spike. The thing about Spike is that his passive is really what makes him so strong. Like his passive is a mortality passive, which gives him immortality for like say 10 seconds or something, where you can't really kill him unless you remove that passive. Remove that buff. So that's what makes him strong. But more and more people are getting their immortality accessories. So the unique thing about Spike is no longer so unique. So imagine putting that passive on the Empress of Fodina Eileen, right? Like you take Spike's passive and put her on her, and she just has she already has way more CC than him, and now she also gets immortality. And so that's what really you should be going for. So for PvP, that's who I seriously recommend. I would recommend the Empress of Fodine Eileen. If you already have her, then it's a toss-up between Spike and the Phoenix Empress Eileen. And the reason for that is because Spike is very strong right now. Because I still see him regularly. The only place I don't see him is at the very, very top of Arena, and I'm in the North American server. Maybe it's a little different for the other servers, but I don't see him at the very top. Like there's maybe very few people using him at 6,000 and higher rating for Arena. But he's still pretty popular because people have been building him, and so they're still using him. But people are also getting used to countering him. A lot of people are using Claire. A lot of people are using other units that remove buffs, like even Macure or Chris Plus. So his survivability is going down. He used to be very strong when the game started because there was very limited ways to remove these buffs. But now he is a lot more counterable. And one of the counters to him is actually the Phoenix Empress Eileen. So this is what I mean as the toss-up. I'm not sure which one is exactly better. They both, eventually start falling off. And the unique thing about the Phoenix Empress Eileen is that she revives when you kill her. So you can actually stack that passive by giving another revive accessory, so she actually revives twice. And whenever you revive, you actually have all your skills on cooldown. So, all your skill off cooldown. So you actually get to use all your skills right away. So that might be a way to stack damage. I've seen her used even in the top of Arena, 6,000 plus Arena rating in the North American server. I've seen her used. So I mean, I'm expecting her to fall off as well. I actually don't even see her as much as I do Spike. I see Spike a lot more. I think he's a lot more popular. But more and more people are countering him, and she is a counter. Like Phoenix Eileen is a counter to Spike. So that's why I'm saying it's a toss-up. I mean, you figure out which one would be better for your own account. If you have a lot of the immortality accessories, maybe the Phoenix Empress Eileen is better because that's the unique thing about Spike, and you have it on on her. But maybe if you're struggling with just building a more defensive team, then maybe you should think of Spike. If you've been seeing Spike all over the place anyway, and you're just having a hard time countering him, maybe you can counter him with your own Spike as well. So it's really up to you which of these two you want to get, and that's really the tier list that I would tell you in the order that you should be getting. So the first one you should be getting is Rudy. If you don't have Rudy, then Dullins. If you don't have Dullins, then the Empress of Fodine, Eileen. And if you don't have her, then it's a toss-up between the Phoenix Empress Eileen and the Ice Tyrant Spike. Now, if you have most of the units that you need, like for example, say you already have a very good PvP team, maybe you have like a couple of these L plus units or something, and you have the Empress of Eileen Fodina, you have Rudy, you have Delins, you obviously have Rachel and the Saint of Light Karen. Regardless of who you get, like even if you get the Phoenix Empress or Spike or whoever you're getting, you're not going to use them. So you're only thinking about it in terms of a Codex buff. Then in that case, I would actually recommend Yeonhee, because she gives the attack buff, and I think attack is usually more stronger right now than some of the other stats. Defense is also arguably strong, but I think attack is more strong, and it's easier to stack attack as well than it is defense right now. So I would recommend the attack Codex buff over defense. Like if you're down to Yeonhee, Phoenix, Eileen, Evan, and Spike, if those are your four choices and you're not going to use any of them, then you're going for the Codex buff. I would recommend Yeonhee. So that's my recommendation. I hope you guys find this video useful, and let me know down below as well who you guys end up choosing and why you end up choosing that unit. I hope this video helps, guys. I will see you guys next time. Take care now.